In the spotlight tonight is Peter Morgan from Bristol, a supply teacher, and his specialist subject is the political and physical geography of continental Europe. Zahid Fayyez from London, a law costs draftsman whose subject is the band Ash. Peter Gaskell from Cardiff, an NHS project manager, and his subject is Lorenzo de Medici. And Janet Carr from Blackpool, a retired waitress, and her subject is the life and career of John Lowe. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind, where the rules never vary. 2 minutes of questions on the specialist subject and then 2 minutes on general knowledge. And one of the contenders will go through to the second stage of the competition with the chance of winning this fine trophy and, more importantly, the right to call themselves Mastermind champion. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Peter Morgan.
Your occupation?
I'm a supply teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The physical and political geography of continental Europe.
The geography of continental Europe in 2 minutes, starting now. Which port city at the mouth of the Vistula River was a free city under a League of Nations mandate from 1919 to 39?
Gdansk.
Correct. In which historic region, most of which is now in the states of Brandenburg and Saxony, do the majority of the Sorbs live?
In Brandenburg.
Lusatia. Which region of France was acquired in the 17th century from the Holy Roman Empire and is now subdivided into départements that include Doubs and Jura?
Franche-Comté.
Correct, along with Eupen. Which town on the Vache River and its surrounding district was transferred to Belgium after the First World War?
Malmedy.
Correct. Which city was once known as Pressburg and became the capital of a republic that came into being in 1993?
Bratislava.
Correct. The Iron Gate Dam on the River Danube was completed in 1972 as a joint project between Yugoslavia and which other country?
Romania.
Correct. A large part of which peninsula that formerly belonged to Italy was incorporated into Yugoslavia by the settlements of 1947 and 1954?
Istria.
Yes. What name meaning edge city or ring city is commonly given to the densely urbanized belt of the Netherlands that includes Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam and Utrecht?
Ringstadt.
Correct. Which of Austria's federal states lies east of the River Leiter and was part of Hungary until the peace settlements of 1919 to 21?
Burgenland.
Correct. Which city that was incorporated into Berlin in 1920 stands at the confluence of the Havel and Spree rivers?
Potsdam.
Spandau. Which city on the Volga River was formerly known as Kobeshev, is a major centre for oil refining and was the starting point for the Friendship oil pipeline to Warsaw Pact countries?
Pass.
In which river estuary, which has an international boundary running through it, is the shallow bay known as the Dorlat?
Pass.
In 1919, which British statesman gave his name to a possible boundary line between Poland and Soviet Russia?
Curzon.
Correct. Following the Soviet reoccupation of Bessarabia in 1944, which tributary of the Danube became the principal border between Romania and the Moldavian Soviet Socialist Republic?
Prut.
Yes. What is the name of the dense, I've started, so I should finish. What is the name of the dense scrubland vegetation of the Mediterranean, the name of which was given to a French resistance movement?
Maquis.
Maquis is correct. 2 passes, Peter Morgan. The shallow bay known as the Dorlat is in the Ems River estuary, and Samara is that city on the Volga River formerly known as Kobeshev. 2 passes, Peter Morgan, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Zahid Fayyez.
Your occupation?
Law costs draftsman.
And your chosen subject?
The band Ash.
The band Ash in 2 minutes. Ash were formed in which town in 1992 by schoolboys Tim Wheeler, Mark Hamilton and Rick McMurray?
Downpatrick.
Correct. Having signed a new recording contract in July 94, what was the first single that the band released on the Infectious label?
Jack names the planet.
Petrol. Ash's big gig of 1999 was at Newcastle's Telewest Arena in support of which campaign organised by Unison?
National Campaign for a Living Wage.
Correct. In July 2000, Ash headlined the Lost Weekend Festival in London in place of which band who'd pulled out at the last minute?
9 Inch Nails.
Correct. What was the title of the ABBA song that the band covered on their 1996 EP, Oh Yeah?
What does your mother know?
Yes. At which small studio in Strangford did Ash record demo tapes of several songs in the summer of 1992 when 2 of the 3 band members were still only 15?
Pass.
For which 2004 film soundtrack did they collaborate with Chris Martin on a version of the Buzzcocks hit Everybody's Happy Nowadays?
Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, what was the title of the single that gave the band their first entry in the UK top 10 when it reached number 5 in '96?
Goldfinger.
Yes, at which Belfast venue did Ash support U2 in May 1998 at a concert held to endorse the yes vote for the Belfast Peace Agreement?
The Waterfront Hall.
Correct. With which band did they tour in October '94 after getting permission from Tim and Mark's headmaster for their absence from school?
Elastica.
Yes, for which song did Tim Wheeler win the Ivor Novello Award for Best Contemporary Song in May 2002?
Shining Light.
Yes, who was the footballer whose image appeared on the cover of the '95 single Kung Fu?
Eric Cantona.
Correct. For which Australian radio station was their Live at the Wireless album recorded in '96?
Pass.
What was the name of the band that Charlotte Hatherley left to join Ash in the summer of '97?
Night Nurse.
Correct. Which song, which was released on the B-side to Girl from Mars in '95, is a version of a song performed by a group of aliens in the film Star Wars?
Cantina Band.
Correct. The album Free All Angels was released in the UK on the Infectious label in 2001, but on which label was it released in the USA the following year?
DreamWorks.
Kinetic. The single Candy includes samples from which Burt Bacharach and Hal David composition?
Pass.
Tim Wheeler received an honorary, I'll finish the question, an honorary companionship from which educational institution in July 2005?
Belfast University.
The Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts. You had 3 passes altogether. Make It Easy on Yourself was the Burt Bacharach and Hal David composition. Triple J was the Australian radio station I was looking for, and Cosmic Rays was the small studio in Strangford. 3 passes, Zahid Fayyez, 12 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Peter Gaskell,
Your occupation?
a project manager in the NHS.
And your specialist subject?
Lorenzo de Medici.
Lorenzo de Medici, in 2 minutes. Which painting by Botticelli, intended as an altarpiece for the Church of Santa Maria Novella, depicts several members of the Medici family, including Lorenzo?
Adoration of the Magi.
Correct. A dispute over the mining of which mineral led to the sacking of Volterra by Florentine troops in 1472?
Alum.
Yes. Which church was badly damaged by fire during a performance of the Descent of the Holy Ghost, arranged to commemorate a visit by the Duke of Milan in 1471?
Pass.
Who wrote Institutiones ad Platonicum Disciplinum and taught Lorenzo how to appreciate Platonic philosophy?
Pico della Mirandola.
Marsilio Ficino. Which family led the revolt against Lorenzo de Medici's rule in Florence, which began during Mass at the city's cathedral on the 26th of April, 1478?
Patsy.
Yes, what was the title of the play that Lorenzo wrote for his children, in which he's believed to have played the role of Constantine himself?
San Giovanni and San Paolo.
Correct. What was the name of Lorenzo's former tutor who became Bishop of Arezzo in 1473?
Gentile Becchi.
Correct. Which member of Lorenzo's Platonic circle published an edition of Dante's works in 1481 in an attempt to establish him as a poet on the same level as Virgil and the ancient Greeks?
Poliziano.
No, Landino. Which artist whom he commissioned to design his father Piero's tomb is also credited with a terracotta bust of Lorenzo?
Verrocchio.
Correct. What was the name of the celebrated Medici diamond which Lorenzo wore in the centre of his shield during the joust of 1469?
Pass.
Which animal, the first of its species ever seen in Florence, did the Sultan of Egypt present to Lorenzo after trade negotiations?
Pass.
What was the name of the friar whom Lorenzo sent for while on his deathbed?
Savonarola.
Correct. Which artist's frescoes in the Sassetti Chapel in the Church of Santa Trinita include one of the best likenesses of Lorenzo?
Pass.
Lorenzo married which member of a noble Roman family in 1469?
Orsini.
Correct. In 1489, which of his sons was nominated as the Cardinal Deacon of Santa Maria in Domenica?
Giovanni.
Yes. In 1471, Pope Sixtus IV, finish the question, gave him 2 classical busts of which figures?
Agrippa and Aristotle.
Nearly. Agrippa and Augustus. Very close. 4 passes. The artist's frescoes, the artist in question was Ghirlandaio. Giraffe was the animal that the Sultan gave Lorenzo. The name of the diamond, the Libro diamond, and the church badly damaged by fire was Santo Spirito. 4 passes. Peter Gaskell, 9 points. And our last contender, please. And your name is?
Janet Carr,
Your occupation?
retired waitress.
And your chosen subject?
The life and career of John Lowe.
John Lowe in 2 minutes. Who was John Lowe's opponent when he achieved the first ever televised 9-dart finish in Slough on 13th of October 1984?
Keith Deller,
Correct. Which nickname provides the title of Lowe's 2005 autobiography?
Stoneface.
Old Stoneface. Yes. In which pub did Lowe first play a game of darts, filling in for a player who had to go to the
The
lavatory?
Butcher's Arms.
Correct. On leaving school, what job was Lowe about to go into when he was given a last-minute apprenticeship as a joiner?
Mining.
Yes. In 1977, what was the name of the unusual venue for the first North American Open Darts tournament that he attended?
The Queen Mary.
Yes. When Lowe took part in the inaugural Embassy World Professional Darts Championship in '78, who was his first-round opponent?
Pass.
What was the name of his driver, assistant and friend to whom he dedicated his autobiography?
Peter Lippiett.
Yes. In grams, what's the weight of dart that Lowe has used for most of his professional career?
21 grams.
Correct. Whom did he beat 11-4 in the last 32 of the 2005 Budweiser UK Open before being knocked out by Roland Schulten?
Pass.
In '81, which of his sporting heroes did Lowe play darts with on the Radio 1 programme Studio B15?
Muhammad Ali.
Yes. What did Lowe claim had made him lose his concentration when he was about to throw for the '78 British Open title, with the result that he eventually lost the match?
Pass.
On the way to his second world title in 1987, whom did he beat 5-0 in the semi-final?
Jockey Wilson.
Yes. What was the name of the winner of the '69 News of the World title, who died in May 2004 and was considered by Lowe as his mentor and friend?
Barry Twomlow.
Yes. In the introduction to his book, John Lowe on Darts, published in 1980, he states, without technique, darts is just a game of throw and what?
Luck.
Hope. In which branch of the Christian faith was Lowe brought up by his parents, Frederick and Phyllis?
Pentecost.
Yes. Which pub was he representing when he won the News of the World title in '81, beating Mick Norris in the final?
The Willow Tree.
Yes. When Lowe defended the World Professional Darts Championship in 1980, which player beat him by 2-0 in the first round?
Cliff Lazarenko.
Cliff Lazarenko is correct. You had 3 passes. It was because a fight broke out in the hall that he got a bit thrown, understandably enough. And he beat Andy Belton, 11-4, in the last 32 of the Budweiser Open in 2005. And his first-round opponent in '78 was Bobby Semple. 3 passes, Janet Carr, 13 points. So that's the end of the first round, the specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 9 points, Peter Gaskell. 3rd place with 11 points, Peter Morgan. 2nd place with 12 points, Zahid Fayyez. In the lead, just with 13 points, very close contest, Janet Carr. So, round 2 now, general knowledge. If there's a tie at the end of the round, then the number of passes get taken into account. So let me ask Peter Gaskell to join us again, if he would, please. The Medicis, Lorenzo is your particular man, but the Medicis are an extraordinary family. They lasted a very long time, didn't they?
Yes, humble origins, but they must have had remarkable genes. I think Lorenzo was particularly brilliant, and it intrigued me that somebody that artistic can be so effective a politician in such unstable times.
Because that is what they did. The Medicis made an absolute fortune over the centuries, but spent it on patronising great artists.
Yeah, he did. He used the artists he had around him, and he could spot a great artist, and that was one of his talents. He used those contacts, really, to further his political alliances, and he was very effective at doing that, and it's thanks to that, really, that there was peace for so long during his rule. Just the right man for the time and place, I think. Nobody could have done it better.
Right, you have 9 points with your knowledge of Lorenzo. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. The Wallachian prince, Vlad the Impaler, is thought to have been the inspiration for which fictional character?
Dracula.
Correct. What word is normally used for the shortening of an animal's tail for cosmetic or other reasons?
Pass.
In which village on the outskirts of the forest of Fontainebleau did Théodore Rousseau and several followers settle in the late 1840s, founding an influential landscape school of art?
Pass.
Which word for a source of wealth or stroke of luck comes from the Spanish for good weather?
Pass.
In Greek legend, which maidens guarded the tree bearing the golden apples that Gaia gave to Hera on her marriage to Zeus?
Hesperides.
Yes. Whose novels of village life include The Rector's Wife and A Village Affair?
Joan Trollope.
Yes. Which carol, sung as the traditional Christmas dish, is carried in at Queen's College, Oxford, is one of the oldest surviving English carols?
Hark, the herald angels sing.
No. Boar's Head carol. Which former European royal head of state served as an artillery officer in the French army during World War II, winning the Croix de Guerre?
King Constantine.
Prince Rainier. In which city is Fort William, where in 1756 the Nawab of Bengal is said to have imprisoned some 140 British subjects in a chamber less than 20 foot square?
Black Hole of Calcutta.
Yes. Of what material is the horn of the rhinoceros composed?
Pass.
In the human body, what name is given to the connective tissue that holds deposits of excess fat?
Pass.
Which former screen cowboy's business interests included ownership of the California Angels baseball team?
Clint Eastwood.
Gene Autry, the name of which holy scripture means first book in Punjabi?
Pandit.
Udit Grunt. In the brewing industry, what do the letters IPA stand for?
Independent.
No, India Pale Ale. Of which type of headwear are the Modelaine and the Basque the two most common styles? Take a guess at a bit of headwear.
Scarf.
No, berry, but it might have been a scarf. Adipose tissue is the one that we were looking for. You had 5 passes altogether. Rhinoceros horn is made of keratin. Bonanza is the good weather in Spanish. Barbizon is the village on the outskirts of Fontainebleau that I was looking for. And when you shorten an animal's tail, it's called docking.
Okay.
5 passes, Peter Gaskell, 13 points. And now Peter Morgan, if he would join us, please. And you are now a supply teacher, but used to be...
I used to be full-time,
As
yes.
it were, a full-time teacher, yeah. And how does it compare with being, I'd have thought, much more difficult than being a regular teacher?
In some ways it's more difficult, in some ways it's a little bit easier because you don't get involved in the politics of a school.
But how about the children?
You don't have the same relationship with the children, and you probably don't get the same respect from the children when you're a supply teacher.
What, they don't fear you in the same way?
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
Right, well, you have 11 points with your knowledge of continental Europe. Let's see how you do with general knowledge in 2 minutes. Which imperial measurement of 220 yards is often used in horse racing?
Furlong.
Correct. Known in France as paradis, what is the popular English name for the uppermost gallery of a theatre?
The gods.
Yes. Which vegetable, along with tomatoes, is a principal ingredient in a Norma sauce?
Peppers.
Aubergine. What was the name of the American Attorney General who assembled the evidence that led to the conviction of the corrupt Teamsters Union leader Jimmy Hoffa in the early 60s?
Pass.
Which comedian said, "I sent the club a wire stating, please accept my resignation. I don't want to belong to any club that will accept me as a member"?
Groucho Marx.
Yes. Born in 1891, which Russian composer wrote the music for the version of the ballet Romeo and Juliet, first performed in 1938?
Tchaikovsky.
Prokofiev.
No, sorry.
In chemistry, what name is given to a state in which a process and its reverse are happening at equal rates so that no overall change is observed?
Sorry, could you read that again?
In chemistry, what name is given to a state in which a process and its reverse are happening at equal rates so that no overall change is observed?
Equilibrium.
Yes. Which mammals are listed in the book of Leviticus amongst fowls that shall not be eaten and held in abomination?
Pigs.
Bats. Which name for the festivals of the Roman wine god has come to be a general term for any drunken revelry?
Bacchanalia.
Yes. Which company that has made swords for the British Army since the mid-19th century closed its specialist division in 2005 but will continue to make razors?
Wilkinson's.
Yes. Of which Jane Austen novel is Catherine Morland the heroine?
Pride and Prejudice.
Northanger Abbey. Born in Lyme Regis in 1799, Mary Anning became famous for discovering and collecting what?
Fossils.
Yes. Which vocalist and guitarist's first solo UK singles chart entry was Hi Ho Silver Lining in 1967?
Pass.
Whose works include Principles of Mathematics, published in 1903, and History of Western Philosophy, first published in 1945?
Pass.
Can tell you, Bertrand Russell. Your other two passes, Jeff Beck was that singer,
Beck, yes.
Hi-Ho Silver Lining, and Bobby Kennedy was the American Attorney General. Three passes, a total now, Peter Morgan, of 18 points. And now Zahid Fayyez, please. And I have to confess, when I saw that you were a law costs draftsman, I wasn't absolutely sure what that meant. What do? You work out how much a case is going to cost, or what?
Basically, at the end of a successful case, I sort of negotiate settlement in getting the money of the winner back, the legal costs of the winner back from the loser.
What's the silliest claim you've ever come across?
You occasionally get the silly one with someone being drunk and falling in a pothole on a
That
Saturday
really does
night.
happen. That's not just a cartoonist's notion. That actually...
Yeah, that happens. Someone got drunk, tripped over, broke the leg, sued the council. The council was half responsible because they didn't fill the pothole, and the other person was responsible for being drunk.
Right, you have 12 points. The score to beat is 18. Let's see if you can do it with your general knowledge. The television series Sex and the City was set mainly in which city?
New York.
Yes, the process of converting atmospheric nitrogen and hydrogen into which gas was invented by the chemist Fritz Haber and refined by Carl Bosch?
Pass.
The expression Wilco, used in signalling communications, is an abbreviation of what?
Pass.
Who in January 1904 set a world land speed record of 91.37 miles an hour, driving one of his own cars over the frozen Lake St. Clair near Detroit?
Pass.
Which former cabinet minister's memoirs were published in 2002 under the title Momentum?
Cecil Parkinson.
Momolum. The term for which violent wind is thought to have come through Spanish from the word for evil spirit in an extinct Caribbean language?
Gale.
Hurricane. Which artist's works include the Haywain, completed in 1821?
Pass.
From which building was the BBC's first regular high-definition television service transmitted on the 2nd of November 1936?
Manchester.
Alexandra Palace. Which football club did Sir Alf Ramsey manage from 1955 until 63 when he was appointed England's manager?
Liverpool.
Ipswich. Civil aircraft bearing the international registration letter N come from which country?
America.
Yes, United States. Which rocky headland at the southern tip of South America was named in 1616 by the Dutch navigator Willem Cornelius Schouten?
Pass.
Henry Corbell's portrait of Queen Victoria was first seen by the public on 6th of May 1840 on what?
Pass.
For which film did the 14-year-old actor Jamie Bell win the Best Actor award at the 2001 BAFTA ceremony?
Billy Elliot.
Yes, who in May 1932 became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean?
Flockhart.
Amelia Earhart. Which of his novels was D.H. Lawrence inspired to write by a visit he made to Australia in 1922?
Pass.
To which organ of the body does the portal vein take oxygen-depleted blood from the stomach, intestines, gall, bladder, spleen and pancreas?
Heart.
Liver. In the Bible, who was swallowed by a huge fish spending 3 days and nights in its belly?
Noah.
Jonah. Sounds similar. It was Kangaroo that D.H. Lawrence was inspired to write. Victoria's portrait was first seen on the postage stamp, that Corbell portrait. Cape Horn was the rocky headland in question. Constable painted the Haywain. Henry Ford set that world land speed record back in 1904. Will comply is where Wilco comes from. And if you convert atmospheric nitrogen and all the rest of it, you get ammonia. 7 passes, Zahid Fayyez, 15 points. And finally, Janet Carr, please. And you don't just know a lot about John Lowe and his dart playing. You're a bit of a darts woman.
I used to be a few years ago when I was living down south. I played for quite a few teams, yes.
Did you? And tell me a bit about women playing darts. Is there a women's league as such, or...?
Well, there's various leagues all over the country, but I'm afraid women's darts hasn't quite progressed the same speed as the men's.
Why should there be a difference at all? Because, after all, you don't need to be big and strong and tough to throw a dart, do you?
I don't know. I think it's how you actually learn to play darts. I learned to play darts playing with men. And the men offered more of a challenge, and I enjoyed beating them better.
13 points, not on the dartboard, but on your knowledge of the darts. And still the score to beat is 18. So let's see if you can do it. 2 minutes on general knowledge. What name is given to unstable, supersaturated sand that will not bear the weight of any heavy object without sucking it down?
Quicksand.
Yes. Which of the United States has the greatest number of seats in the Electoral College that chooses the American president?
Pass.
The title of which children's television series of the 60s means doctor in Swahili?
Pass.
Also associated with the women's suffrage movement, which work by Hubert Parry did the Women's Institute first sing at their AGM in 1924?
Jerusalem.
Yes. Who committed suicide after his defeat at the Battle of Philippi by Mark Antony and Octavian in 42 BC?
Cleopatra.
Brutus. Which French church lies closest to point zero, from which distances from Paris to other cities are measured?
Pass.
Which football club became league champions for the first time in 50 years when they beat Bolton to win the Premiership in April 2005?
Chelsea.
Yes. Two-toed and three-toed are the two families of which tree-dwelling mammals native to Central and South America?
Tree frogs.
Sloths. Which American form of bass tuba that encircles the player's body is named after the man for whose band it was first made in the 1890s?
Sousa.
Yes. Sousaphone. In medicine, phlebitis is the inflammation of what part of the body?
Skin.
Veins. Which fair was held annually at Smithfield from the 12th until the mid-19th century, the site later being cleared to make way for the meat market?
Pass.
What French term is used for chestnuts that have been poached in syrup and then glazed?
Pass.
Who chronicled Bridget Jones's endless battles with calories and cigarettes in the best-selling Bridget Jones's Diary?
Bridget Jones.
Helen Fielding. Which 13-year-old prodigy participated in the groundbreaking ceremonies for Alexander Graham Bell's Volta Bureau for teaching the deaf in 1893?
Pass.
Part of which piece of classical music was used in Ridley Scott's famous Hovis ad?
Dvorak's New World Symphony.
Yes. Who won a Best Actress Oscar, I've started, so I'll finish, for her role as an overbearing mother in the film Terms of Endearment?
Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine is it. 6 passes. Helen Keller was the young prodigy in that groundbreaking ceremony. Marron glacé is what you get if you poach chestnuts and then glaze them. Bartholomew Fair is the one at Smithfield. Notre Dame is the church from which they measure distances. Daktari is the title of that children's television series. California has the greatest number of seats in the Electoral College. But with those 6 passes, you have gone to 19 points. So let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 13 points, Peter Gaskell. 3rd place with 15 points, Zahid Fayyez. 2nd place with 18 points, Peter Morgan. In 1st place, she just did it, 19 points, Janet Carr. Which means, of course, that she goes through to the 2nd round. Congratulations to Janet Carr. Do join us next week for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
BBC Two's trimming down tonight, joining 3 very different slimming clubs to find out if they actually work. Welcome to the world of weight loss at 9. But next, Richard Attenborough leads a cast of famous names in Private's Progress.